Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Broadcast Studio. I'm Alex, and today we're going to talk about something every traveler needs to know, essential phrases for airports and hotels. Whether you're traveling for business or leisure, knowing the right words can make your journey much smoother.
That's right, Alex. Traveling can be stressful, especially in unfamiliar places, but if you're equipped with the right phrases, it can make a huge difference. Today, we're going to break down some common situations at airports and hotels and teach you the key phrases to use. Ready?
Absolutely. Let's start with the airport. Emily, when you arrive at the airport, the first thing you'll probably do is check in for your flight. What phrases would you need there?
Good question, Alex. When you approach the check-in counter, you might need to say something like, "Hello, I'd like to check in for my flight." It's simple, but gets the point across. And if you have any luggage to check in, you can say, "I have one bag to check in."
And if you need to ask about the baggage allowance, you can say, "How much baggage am I allowed to check in?" This is especially important if you're unsure about the rules.
Right. Baggage rules can vary depending on the airline. If you're traveling internationally, you might also need to ask, "Do I need to fill out any forms for customs?"
That's a good point, Emily. Customs forms can be a bit confusing, especially if you're flying to a country with strict regulations. Now, after you check in, the next thing you'll probably do is go through security. What phrases do you need there?
At security, it's all about following instructions. You might hear the security staff say, "Please remove your shoes and belt." If you're unsure, you can ask, "Do I need to take anything else out of my bag?"
Yes, and if you're carrying any liquids, it's good to know the phrase, "I have liquids in my bag. Should I take them out?" If you're carrying a laptop, you might also hear, "Please remove your laptop from your bag."
And if you have any issues with security, you could say, "Excuse me, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here." It's always better to ask than to risk doing something wrong.
Definitely. Now that you've made it through security, the next step is usually finding your gate. Emily, what should you say if you're lost or can't find the gate?
You could approach an airport employee and say, "Excuse me, could you help me find gate 12 or whatever your gate number is?" If you're in a hurry, you might add, "I'm in a hurry. Can you tell me how to get there quickly?"
That's helpful. Once you're at the gate, you'll probably need to wait for your flight. Sometimes there are delays. If you're wondering what's going on, you can say, "Is there a delay with my flight?" Or, "What time is the new departure?"
Great tips, Alex. And when it's time to board, listen for the announcement. If you're unsure whether their flight is boarding, you could ask, "Is this flight to New York boarding now?"
All right. Now let's move on to hotels. After your flight, you'll probably head straight to your accommodation. What's the first thing you do when you arrive at a hotel?
The first thing you'll do is check in, just like at the airport. A simple phrase here is, "Hi, I have a reservation under the name Johnson." If you don't have a reservation, you can say, "I'd like to make a reservation, please."
And if they need more details, they might ask for your ID or passport. You can respond with, "Here's my passport." Or if you're paying with credit card, you can say, "I'd like to pay by credit card."
Once you're checked in, the staff will probably give you your room key. If you're not sure where your room is, you can ask, "Could you please tell me how to get to room 305?
If you need to ask for anything else, like extra towels or a wake-up call, you can say, "Could I have some extra towels, please?" Or, "Can you give me a wake-up call at 7 a.m.?
If there's something wrong with your room, don't hesitate to speak up. You could say, "I'm sorry, but there's a problem with the air conditioning. Could you fix it?" Or, "The shower is not working properly. Can someone help?"
Yes, it's always better to ask for help if there's an issue. And if you want to get around town, the hotel staff can assist you with that too. You could say, "Is there a taxi service here?" Or, "How far is the nearest subway station?"
And if you're looking for recommendations for local attractions or restaurants, you could ask, "Can you recommend a good restaurant nearby?" Or, "What are the top attractions to see in this city?"
Good advice, Emily. And don't forget, when you check out, you'll need to say, "I'd like to check out, please." And, "Can I pay the bill now?"
Exactly. And if there were any charges you weren't expecting, you could ask, can you explain these charges on my bill?
Now let's talk about some common phrases you'll need in more general travel situations. For example, if you're navigating the airport or hotel and need to ask for directions, you can say, "Could you show me where the bathrooms are?" Or, "How do I get to the worst exit?"
And if you're in a rush, you might say, which way is the nearest exit? Or, is there a shortcut to the main road?
Also, at both the airport and hotel, there may be times when you need assistance with your luggage. You can say, "Could you help me with my luggage, please?" Or, "Can someone carry this for me?"
If you're trying to find your way around, you can also use a map or ask, do you have a map of the airport? Or can you give me directions to the nearest restaurant?
And don't forget, if you're feeling a bit lost or unsure, you can always use the phrase, "I'm not sure where to go next. Could you help me?"
It's really all about being polite and asking for help when needed. The more you practice these phrases, the more confident you'll feel when traveling.
Exactly, Emily. I hope today's broadcast has helped you learn some useful phrases for your next trip. Remember, whether you're at the airport or in a hotel, having the right words can make your experience so much easier.
Thanks for joining us today on English Broadcast Studio. We hope you feel more prepared for your travels. Safe travels, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, and don't forget to subscribe for more helpful language tips. Until next time.